Oh, are we live now? We're live now.
Oh,
Turn my volume up.
technical troubles on our end. Sorry about that. It's one of those days where technology isn't working, but I don't know why it's not working. But if you click it again, then it works. So,
Yeah,
you know how
that
those
happened,
days go sometimes, right?
that happened like twice in a row, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing about technology.
yeah.
It's like, when Einstein says craziness, insanity is when you do the same thing and try to get different results. Well, technology, you just need to keep trying the same thing again, and it'll eventually work.
Eventually it'll work. If you just
Yeah.
close things and restart them and then do it the exact same thing you did before, it'll
Yeah,
work.
and it did work.
And it did twice in a row. That's how we fixed our problems.
So Jeff Blakely suggests a bigger hammer. That works too sometimes.
Does
Or just same hammer, just harder.
Yeah, have you tried turning it on and off again? But when I was editing the Frankenfilm, that's how I got through it. I don't know why I kept having problems, but I would just close everything and then open it and it would work for, 20 minutes and then stop working. And then I would close it and open it and it would work again.
So, okay, so I'm still.
But now we're here.
Now we're here. That's all's good. So welcome.
All is good. So welcome to Minute Movies. It is February. Seems like every month it's just another month, Can't believe it's already February. Minute Movies. So
Triumph. We have Triumph.
Triumph.
Yes.
Triumph.
Again, yet another month, and it seems like it's working now, so it's a triumph.
It's a triumph that we're here.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. Those of you in the Seattle area, I hope you enjoyed our snowpocalypse.
A man pissed me off, so I shot his ass.
Okay. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Technology, Yeah, little sonic preview of one of the films again.
Of what's to come. Yeah.
Just
Charlie's asking for the Minute Movies number. Let's see. Next month is our anniversary of the first Minute Movies. Yeah. So, and that was 2014. So I think, this is 7 years. Is that right?
Holy moly. Really? Yeah, coming up next month. 7 years.
We've had 84 screenings.
That's pretty nuts. We haven't missed a screening, have we? No, in all that time.
No.
Did we? No, we haven't. Yeah.
Not completely, no.
Not completely.
Well, there at the first year there were a couple problems. Like there was one time we were locked out of SFI, and so we had to go across the street to Starbucks.
That's true.
And had the screening on a laptop in Starbucks.
Yeah, I feel like we deal with technology almost every screening.
I know. We've been pretty lucky not having that many technology problems doing these live screenings.
All right. Okay. So I think we got it all straight. So I haven't checked the Frankenfilm. So we're just going to wing it.
We're just going to wing that one. Hope that one works.
Yeah. But I'm all set. We're all set. Should we Okay, and announcements. Are we going to do the meetup in a week?
Yeah, so we have a meetup in a week that's Minute Movies community, where we just kind of hang out and socialize, where so all of your faces are on the screen all at once, and we kind of just chat and hang out and talk about Minute Movies, talk about filmmaking, talk about whatever other random topics come up, which happens regularly. So you're all invited to join us. We're trying Zoom this time because we've had some issues with other chat. So that means it's limited to 40 minutes. So we'll have a quick hello and see all of your faces. If you can make it next week, it's at 7 o'clock. Yeah, and the link for that's in the meetup description on Meetup.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm trying to think, are there anything else?
I don't think there's any other.
Roll right into the first filmmaker.
Yeah.
Is Kirk in the room?
Kirk is in the room. I should pull up my filmmaker list so I have everyone. There we go. Kirk, I'm going to add you to the stream. Hello. You there, Kirk?
See his name? Yeah, just push the button again, harder.
Can you hear us, Kirk?
There he is.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah,
How are
I'm
you?
here. Can you hear me?
Okay, good.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're just the video is a little laggy.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you. So, do you have anything to say about your film?
I can hear you.
Oh.
Do you have anything to say about your film? To intro your film?
Okay, can you hear me?
We can now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I guess the one thing I'll say about it is that I actually wrote this short about yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think there's some kind of delay.
Oh, there is a
for
delay.
Kirk.
There must be a delay for Kirk.
Somehow.
I wonder if he's on YouTube. That's, yeah, quite a delay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you now, Kirk, but there must be a delay. So we're curious about your intro to the film.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Cell instead of Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
so I actually wrote this maybe 3 years ago or so. And I originally wrote it for my sister, who's in film school right now. She was wanting to do a short, but was having difficulty getting any of her friends to help out. And so she really couldn't assemble a crew. And after about 5 minutes or something like that, I pitched this idea to her, and never forgot about it. She didn't end up using it, but it fit very well with the theme of Triumph, and so decided to make it.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
That's a good good enough excuse.
Yeah.
Cool. Is this
Shall
a
we?
cellular? Tom wants to know if this is a cellular ad.
Yeah. Could be.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, apparently this is going to be the month of all of our technical problems that we haven't had for the past, what, 6 months?
Yeah,
All at
don't say
once?
that.
So,
Well, if we can do that, if we can just schedule it all for this one
Yeah.
particular month, then that would be great.
yeah, just
And if
get
this
them out of the
is,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
if this is the level, seems like we're rolling through it all right. So, um,
All right, shall we play it?
oh shoot, I forgot to add the little black clips in between everything. I'll do that. But hang on one second.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready now. Oh wait, one second. Queuing up the film, just kind of getting it all technology. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
Cool.
here we go. Maybe.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm clicking
I'm
it.
ready.
Oh my gosh.
So it's the shared screen, right?
Yeah. Oh, here we go, maybe.
Maybe? Okay,
Maybe? All right.
here we go.
Yeah, so my sister specifically said that she wanted to do a story about a hero overcoming adversity. Um, and again, couldn't assemble a cast, and so um, it fit perfectly for Triumph and for a minute movie.
Yeah, it was great. Couple-minute movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked you like didn't know what was going on. Why is this guy sneaking around some campus?
Yeah.
Then you get to the end, and yeah. Warner said nice wardrobe effects.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. The alien costume was a couple of different things, so I got one costume from Amazon that was some kind of strange spaceman costume with a helmet, which I didn't use, and then an alien mask, then just a some kind of doctor's respirator type mouth cup, which I spray painted silver. It was originally translucent, and then hooked to that a hose that I picked up from Home Depot.
Cool. Yeah.
So it had kind of a Twilight Zone feel.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird, like you're not sure exactly. You know something's not right, but you don't know what. And then, yeah, and the look at the end where it's like, oh, I guess that's done. Okay, cool.
Moving on.
Yeah. No, it's fortunate that the glasses frames that I use are actually sunglasses frames. And my sister happened to have the same frames, but as sunglasses. And I kind of wanted to highlight the fact that it was the glasses that were allowing him to see the aliens. And so the that effect there of having the glasses go from shaded to transparent was to highlight the fact that they were the tool used. That and the fact that the aliens are actually all wearing glasses as well. Yeah, and then the sounds were kind of fun to do. So the phaser sound effect actually originally was the lowest note being played on a viola, which I just modified considerably to sound like a phaser.
Wow.
And actually, all the wind sound effects are just me inhaling next to the microphone.
Oh wow!
Just a mix of me inhaling next to the microphone.
It's amazing what some people come up with. Like, wind. That's not something I would think that you made the sound, let alone that's how you made it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Charlie's curious about, or like, I guess Jesse and Charlie are kind of curious about that door at the end, the kind of the wall or whatever it was.
So really, the concept was just that it was some sort of cloaking machine that was not only used to cloak the aliens' presence, but also was controlling their life support systems. And that simply destroying that machine was enough to not only make them visible, but also to kill them. It was actually constructed as 3 cardboard boxes with aluminum foil contact cemented to each side. and
Wow.
then an LED light strip nailed onto the box, which I ripped off.
Wow. I love your creativity that you go to make your films. It's pretty nice. Good,
Making
good
that,
job.
putting that box thing together took a little bit of time.
Huh. Yeah.
And then also it was a little bit of a pain because I ended up having to borrow my mom's Suburban because, it wasn't. So I actually had to construct it over at my mom and dad's place because it was too big to fit in my
Oh.
car. And then, yeah, get it in my
So you
mom's
had to borrow,
Suburban.
like, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of producing. Cool.
Cool.
Fortunately, it was light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you? I didn't quite notice in the credits. Did you have anyone helping you?
Yeah. So my sister played all the aliens.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the same sister who I'd originally written the story for.
Okay. Cool.
That was right before she left for Southern California to continue with film school. She's been doing it remotely up until this point, but with the classes that she's taken now, they actually want her on campus. And then also I credited my niece for she played the viola, played a number of different notes on the viola, which again I used for the phaser sound effect.
Cool.
Cool.
Fun stuff.
I know somebody also just talked about the wardrobe, the T-shirt. Actually, the California gear there, so the Dodgers hat and the California In and Out T-shirt were a nod to the movie They Live, which is set in LA. And I actually wrote this story before I had seen her and even heard about They Live, ironically, but it's got some similarities in that the premise of They Live being that the world's actually controlled by aliens, but they look like normal people. And this kind of underground resistance has developed a pair of sunglasses that allow you to see them as they really are.
Wow.
And so in my original concept, I had the character wearing a more alien looking headset. But I thought that sunglasses, in addition to being a nod to They Live, would also keep you in suspense longer as to what was going on. Whereas if it was some sort of bizarre headset that they were wearing, you might guess that they were seeing something that you couldn't see.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks,
Cool.
Kirk.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So you have Tom?
Right. Yeah. Tom, you are up next. And then after Tom is Warner. So Tom, I'm adding you in. Hello.
I'm here somewhere.
Hey, Tom.
There we go. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
I'm close to my router tonight, so I won't get cut off. In my bed.
All the
Anyway.
internet problems tonight.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah. So, anyways, my film, I'll get to it right away. Just a little kind of a documentary that I've been working on, accumulating things since the beginning of lockdown last year. I decided to get back into climbing, and which I used to do a lot of. So this is the start of I put 2 minutes of what I'm going to do it on longer piece after this next summer when I really do get back on the rock and do some of the things I plan to do. So anyways, play it.
Right on.
I used to be a rock climber. Back in my 30s, I used to climb every chance I could. Up in South Dakota, Devil's Tower, Donner Summit in California. My favorite place was the Needles in South Dakota. And during the winter, I ice climbed out in Rocky Mountain National Park, up on the north shore of Lake Superior. And when I moved to Alaska, down in Valdez and around Denali National Park. I loved my trips to Telluride and Ouray and the San Juans of southwest Colorado. When the pandemic hit, I refurbished my climbing kit and I took my barn wall, which was blank, made it ready for holds, mounted those holds until I had a climbing wall. So at 73 years old, I started climbing back. My climbing may be checkered by failure, or I may win glorious triumphs, but I know I will not live in a gray twilight.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because the day after you rolled the crystal ball and came up with triumph, I ran into that Teddy Roosevelt quote in a book I was reading. It's like
Oh, wow.
3 pages after I started. And I said, I was planning on doing a movie that related to Triumph with the rock climbing thing, so it just worked out perfectly for.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah, you had quite a rock climbing career for a while there.
Yeah,
So-
it was what I did almost with all my free time back in my 30s. So it was what I lived for then. But divorce and and raising families and things like that got in my way, and had to do a divorce yard sale of all my climbing gear back 35 years ago. So
Wow.
but that's all right.
Yeah, I used to climb a bit myself, but discovered I was afraid of heights. So and then somehow I lost my climbing gear. I don't know. It just disappeared one day, and I thought it'd show up again, but it never did. But I've climbed walls. I'd love to come up and to your cabin and climb around on your wall, your barns.
Yeah,
your
and
barn.
there's actually an area which nobody knows about because some locals developed it up here. That's less than 5 miles from my cabin, with 5 or 6 sport climbs on it. Now, back when I climbed, there wasn't such a word as sport climb. Everything was what's called traditional, where you had to put in the protection as you went up the wall. So, but like I said, these are all bolted, and it's a perfect place. get back into it. So,
Oh, nice.
That's
you
awesome.
So you just
can
need
come to Barnwell Stewart and then head out to that.
you just need carabiners and not like you don't need friends and nuts and
Yeah, now with the I still have them because I plan on I bought a
yeah.
probably a couple $1,000 from not spending money on Starbucks coffee every morning,
Nice.
and other eating out. I refurbished my gear. So yeah, the sport climbing, you really, it's minimal equipment that you need, and it's much safer than what we used to do back then. So, but I plan on.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's like back to the original stuff. I mean, they used to put bolts, like drill and put bolts in rock walls, and then that was frowned upon, because it would just wreck the rock. So,
Exactly. So there's been a lot of evolution to climbing, rock climbing.
So you've got a lot of praise for a lot of people like your work. Kirk likes the quote, from the man in the arena speech.
Well, thanks.
Elliot.
I signed off of YouTube so I wouldn't get feedback, and so I'll go back and.
Okay. So Elliot's liking the style, old pictures and transitions, the new rock wall.
Yeah, it's a style I've used before.
Yeah.
In fact, that music is one from the word exist when we did that thing about 3 years ago. But anyways, yeah, everything old is new again.
Yeah, cool deal. Huh.
And I saw on, was it Instagram that you made some holds for your wall?
Yeah, I've posted that before while I was making the holds, and that's another. There's a whole bunch of little kind of YouTube movies that I've been putting together because those holds in the wall are partially purchased, but they get kind of expensive when you do that. Plus, during the lockdown, everybody was buying them, and you couldn't find them. So I started making them by melting recycled plastic, just bottle caps and milk bottles and that kind of stuff, and melted in a little what do you call this barbecue thing? So and then molding them and shaping them after that. So it was kind of everything just to get you through lockdown when there wasn't much to do. So
yeah,
right on.
Yeah, well, it'll be cool. You should share the full length thing when you have that finished.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the full length will be after I hopefully climb some of my goals, which are doing as hard a climbs as I used to do when I was younger. So and now that everybody does training, and I'm sitting here in my bedroom and I've got fingerboards up on the wall that I can see that I do pull-ups every time I walk by, on limited holds, and so climbing training has come a long way from back when the only thing you did was climb, so
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be able to do as well as I did before. The knowledge is still there. The body might not be, but
but you're working on it. It'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice film.
Thank you.
Warner.
All right. So we have Warner, and then after Warner is Charlie. So I'm going to add you, Warner. Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. I was muted. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
How's it going?
How's it going?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Oh, he's muted again. You just muted yourself. We could, okay. Are you good? We can hear you.
No.
No, you're good. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear
I wonder
us.
if he's delayed again, like Kirk was delayed.
No. Why am I? Hang on 1 second. I'm going to log back in again.
Okay.
1 second.
1 second. Okay. It's all good.
Like I said, it's the
Push the button again.
the night of pushing the button
Can you
again.
hear me?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can. Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me? I can't
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
you.
You can't hear us. Well, that's
Hang on. I'm going to log back in again.
Yeah.
We'll make it through one way or another, right?
Yeah. So I'm curious if yeah. Yeah, Thompson. You ever tried climbing, Sarah?
Just indoors.
Indoors? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done any.
Quite a bit. Like in on climbing walls inside, you know, back that's like 20 years ago now, but
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a long time.
yeah.
So, like, I think I was in middle school or something when I did it.
Time flies. So how was skiing today, Sarah?
Skiing was great. Yeah, there's a lot of snow up in the mountains right now,
There
coming
is.
down. There's a little too much wind though. They had to
It's a pretty windy day.
put some of the upper mountain on wind hold.
So does anybody like have any friends or know anybody in the eastern, the middle section of the country that got shut down, locked, like frozen out with storms last week? That was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard that like all the passes were closed.
But like Texas got like frozen.
Oh yeah, the middle part of the country. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the state. Yeah, it was seeing some of the photos of like
So
people in Texas.
Warner disappeared.
Warner disappeared.
Tom's telling him close the YouTube link. You know, I don't think that was. I don't know. Usually when people have the YouTube link on at the same time, you hear a big echo. Yeah, there's a delay and a long echoey kind of delay.
So he says he's trying a new browser. Chrome is really the only browser that seems to work well.
Chrome, yeah.
So if you're using anything but Chrome, then use Chrome.
No problems. So
Right.
I hope the Minimovie Ball cooperates with us.
All right, Warner, I see you here. I'm going to add you back.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us now?
Yes. It's like what you said. It's just doing the same thing over and over again.
It's crazy to try anything else.
Yeah. I opened up a separate browser.
Oh, Elliot says Opera works too. So another browser.
Oh,
yeah.
so Opera and Chrome,
Okay.
or
Oh,
Safari if you're calling in from your phone,
okay.
like Kirk was. All
Yeah,
right.
I logged in under an incognito browser on
Tips.
Ooh.
Incognito. Hmm.
history. Maybe it was just too bogged down on the other browser.
Mm.
Yeah. So what do you have to say for yourself, Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy's film this month, we're focused on more of a startup vibe. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get those YouTube ads that come streaming in based on content that I might be into. And and so lately for the last month or two on and off, I'll sometimes get pinged with the startup guy, you kind of hear the narrative of his story, and then they launch the product on you. And that was kind of how this came on my radar. So I'm got a little bit of a California vibe to it a little bit. And then the rest was kind of the Triumph word spurred the idea of the product. So that's probably the way to roll that footage.
All right.
Sweet.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm gonna mute.
Growing up both as a surfer but also as like an entrepreneur, it worked with like device and like IoT startups, but we realized with surfing that there wasn't anything in place. Like if you had to go to the toilet and you were at like near a beach or you couldn't get to a restaurant.
We heard about Stu's Health startups here, but we didn't want to miss out. So we inked the Series A round.
My dad was a builder, so I was always making things. I did a couple device kind of wearable tech type things, but nothing really picked up.
On demand's the rage, and why not for your toilet needs? Just one drop of this. See if that works for you, and then we'll wait a couple minutes.
Triumph today, because when you're running around on the beach, your poops shouldn't have to wait another day.
Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Wake up to what's possible.
Oh shit. Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Right.
Toilet comments never get old, right? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So is that stuff, is it selling really well now?
it's in development. Like I said, we got that Series A round,
Yeah.
so now we have a little bit of back end where work we can sort of dial up. So we're doing some test studies on friends and family. We're kind of bootstrapped, so
Okay.
our toilets have been pretty busy. So
You know, wait till summer to roll it out.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was trying to go with like, you know, the surfer bro kind of Bostonian Silicon Valley vibe. So hopefully that's
Huh.
what we obtain there. So,
That's your demographic.
a little bit.
The Boston
So
surfer dude who went to yeah. Okay. Went to school in Boston, surfer dude,
a little bit.
living in Silicon Valley now.
Yeah. And the whole idea of kind of being, you know, growing up on the beach and, you know, being a builder and things like that. So that kind of parlayed over to the Oomph product solution.
Oomph.
It's very creative interpretation. Triumph.
A little bit. Yeah, I thought I would kind of work the wording a little bit. It just occurred to me in terms of being able to play that, the dynamic of the Triumph, yeah. But we're working pretty smoothly. Like I said, we've got all kinds of sort of behavioral things going on in the back in our studios here with some of the
Yeah.
test studies. Yeah.
So what was some of the tech that you used to make that, like the special effects?
Sure. So, believe it or not, once again, I used just the green screen TikTok background, and then I just cropped it out a little bit.
Oh wow.
So that's why you saw some of those, you know, the black border. Again, could be other ways to do that, but that's kind of how I rock that. So I just set up a tripod with a buddy and implemented the TikTok green screen effect, and then just kind of rolled it. And then downloaded that. So, and then just some audio tracks and some transitions, and that was pretty much the extent of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
I did some music research. I was really, I wanted something dramatic, but again, the story of this guy's, you know, his struggle and like trying to be in California and like just that, you know, when you're on the beach, you gotta handle your bowels. So. I don't know. It just sort of came together, but I did have to dig up some music on that third party. So site. Yeah. So
Oh, I think that worked definitely.
awesome.
Music definitely went well with the vibe you were going for.
Perfect. Yeah, that was really important. I was gonna pull some things, but I had to find the right tunage. So, and it was I even cut back about 5 or 6 seconds. I had some extra shots that were kind of redundant. So I was lucky to have it done a few days ago. And what I'll do is I'll watch a draft, and Elliot knows this, another shady character that you guys might know, but Elliot knows that I usually will watch it maybe a few days before on mobile to get a vibe for it. And that helps a lot too. Watch the clip on your phone, on your device, and you start seeing some redundancies and do some AV checks too that way on mobile.
Huh.
I haven't thought about doing that. Yeah, watch it in different format than you edited it in.
It's it. I mean, it's a snackable culture. I mean, now everyone wants things, 15-second clips, 20-second clips, and and then maybe I'll dice like 25 seconds of it and pop it on Instagram. And anyway,
yeah, you only need 15 seconds for a story.
That's it. And no shocker here, but I mean, the people really, as far as like engagement and views, I mean, the Lights Out series, like, I mean, people just don't, you know how it is with that kind of thing. They don't really respond to that as much, which is fine. That's just the nature of the beast. That's not why I make the content, but it's funny because anytime you do anything like this, you just get a lot more views and clicks. Yeah. Anyway, slight tangent, but thank you. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. Can't wait to see what you do with the next word.
I don't know.
All right.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks. Okay, so next up we have Charlie, and then I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Abhishek. So be on deck for after Charlie.
Hello.
Hello.
Charlie.
Can you hear me? But like everybody, I'm gonna say, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Working?
Yeah.
Seems to work by your smile.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. So, any comments about your film before we watch it?
No, this time it was. I did it very fast. I mean, I had the idea that came. I like to twist always the word, because the word it's so obvious that you want to do it something different. And the sports, of course, is
but Umph was pretty good too. Huh?
Yeah. And that was oomph. But my word is triumph. And when you talk about triumph, you think about sports, and that's what I want to do, kind of. And I did it in my way, of course. And I had this good friend who's a real one, announcer, so that I took advantage of that.
Awesome. Here
Cool.
we go.
Yeah.
Welcome, boxing fans! The main event, all bouts sanctioned by USA Boxing, and your announcer for tonight's bouts, the well-known godfather of announcers in the Pacific Northwest, Joe Toro.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the hundreds in attendance and the thousands outside that can't get in, it's showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, for our main event of the evening, fighting out of the heavyweight division, from Milton, Washington, fighting out of the blue corner, let's hear it for the up-and-coming Morning Thunder. And his opponent, out of the red corner, from Seattle, Washington, the great, the electrifying Atomic Bull. This will be 10 rounds or less.
Wow. What a match. What a fight. Yeah. But I don't know why the coach called me Morning Thunder. And the fight is at night. But I did a good fight. I stopped every punch with my face and I put it there, put it there, put it there. The coach, he told me, don't worry, he doesn't touch you, he doesn't touch you. Well, I told him, you better look the referee then. But, you know, my main problem for many years, I have a hard time to sleep at night. But when that guy counts to 10, I fell asleep like a baby. And that was a triumph. Yeah.
That was good.
It was fun to do it, yeah. And this friend is a real announcer boxer, Jotaro, so he lent me his voice, because with the pandemic you cannot make him come and things like this, so at least I had his voice, and that was nice. That was a real voice kind of.
Yeah, he sounded great.
He's well known in the boxing kind of field. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah. Jesse says world's worst boxer.
Yeah. It's the triumph is not always where you think it is, you know, kind of. Yeah.
Best cure for insomnia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Warner says nice makeup and locker room backdrop.
When you came out with your makeup on, that was so funny.
The makeup was important, yeah, right?
So did you do the makeup?
Yeah, I did the makeup, yeah.
Nice.
I came out with my little box from a performer, you know, I have all those kind of makeup. Oh yeah, where I'm gonna put it, and they have all kind of different things. So that's interesting. And you can do it yourself. I mean, yeah. But I miss to have some other talent to join me. I mean, I have to do it always alone. People will have enough of me. You know?
Yeah. Soon, hopefully soon, we'll be back making movies together.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Jeff says it's one of your best on-camera performances.
Oh, I know. It is. Awesome. Good acting.
You know, I would like to say something. I mean, it's nice that we can talk about the film that we did, and after the people ask and things like this, then you notice things that you didn't notice the first time. And it was nice when we went in the other place where we saw in big, that you show again at the end all the film, because then you look for the details that oh yes, he saw, now I get it, you know. I wish you could do that at the end.
Like after you talk about it?
Yeah, a rerun of all the thing without talking.
Do you? I mean, we could do that.
We have the videos.
I don't know. It's a suggestion. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we could if people want to stick around, we could roll them again. And then you know, like we could pick the word, and then after that, you know, if people want to stick around, they can we can watch them again, and then maybe come on and get people's comments. Yeah.
I didn't want to do comment il s'appelle? Rocky. I didn't want to do Rocky. To find a name. No, I don't want nothing with Rocky.
Elliot asked, or you said Charlie Balboa. I like the moving arena shots early on. How did you do those?
You're not going very far in that. Like a memory, when I had a friend, he was a boxer, and he always say, "I'll come and see you one day when I do." So no, I don't. I'm not too fan of boxing. I mean, it's not my favorite sport. Okay, one day I'm going to see him, and I went there, and it was terrible feeling when you see your friend get punched. You know, I really didn't like it at all then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of boxing. Or these days, it's like cage fighting is the big thing these days.
Even worse. I mean, even worse.
Yeah. Because people are just getting their brains, like concussion after concussion on top of each other, and it's just, yeah, not very smart. But
No, that's why you don't stop the hits with your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, thank you, Charlie.
Okay, thank you.
It was good to see you.
Thanks.
Right. Next up, we have Abhishek and then Jeff. Hello.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Am I saying your name right?
Yeah, it's Abhishek. Yeah.
Abhishek, okay.
So just the idea behind the film, actually, I just came across the meetup and the theme of Triumph. And I thought about writing a poem, and there were a couple of ideas I was working with of shooting where I currently live. I just wanted to shoot the place and find different angles and camera placements and things like that. So this all came together, and I wanted to actually. So usually I write and direct, and I have a friend who does the camera work and editing. But I was just seeing Richard Linklater's first film where he mentions that he just wanted to do everything himself to learn and see how things are done. So this is basically my attempt to do something like that. I just went on and did everything myself, and it was fun. It just took like 4 hours for me, and I was so happy to get it done. So let's have a look.
Awesome.
Cool.
Each night, I lay awake in my bed. That has been the norm since that day. It gets easier with time, they said, but the pain doesn't seem to go away. Sometimes I ponder I would be happier dead, done with the suffering rather than have to pay. I walk the dead man's walk on a thin thread. To no particular God I pray. Let me wash away these sins, I said, and in the mirror I gaze. The water hides the tears I shed as I find my way out of this maze. And to the same spot I am led, beside the cigarette, a note I read. Don't let this weakness, uncertainty, and chaos humph, because this last cigarette, untouched, unsmoked, in itself is a triumph.
Fun.
Yeah, that was really good.
So yeah, just on the topic, I just wanted to touch addiction as a topic, and just how relieving yourself from a simple addiction could be a triumph. Just taking it day by day could be a triumph. And I'm just looking at way too many Japanese films, and I guess all the shots that I had were somehow influenced by that. Just the how to shoot a stairway, or just where to place the camera. And since I didn't have anybody to move the camera, it was best when it is placed in a certain composition or something. So I was just trying those things out.
Yeah, I think it added a nice effect to just have the static shots, and I liked our composition, which I know can be challenging to get when it's just you trying to look through the viewfinder and
yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Cool.
And Elliot and Charlie both said they liked the color changes that you had in there. Was that like a light that you had that changed color, or did you do that in post?
No, it was a light I had that changed color.
Cool.
So yeah, I wanted to use that light again for the final shot when I opened the drawer, but somehow I couldn't just get it to run. So I wanted the first and the last shot to be in the same, changing color thing, but it just didn't work out. So I wanted to play with light and shadows as well, but was not possible. Like I couldn't get the shadows right. So maybe I'll have my friend and we'll shoot it where we can actually have shadows and play with light and more stuff.
Yeah. Can't do everything in all the minute movies.
So, speaking of triumph, how do you feel? Like, what was your biggest triumph in making this film?
Getting it done. To be honest, I was so happy because just Friday night I was like, you have this poem ready and you have these ideas ready in your head, but if it's not done, it's not done. So I just took and when 3:30 a.m. in the morning when I was rendering it, I was like, yes, this is it.
Nice.
Yeah, Jesse said that he liked the poetry. Great poetry.
Thanks.
Yeah, and it was well written and well spoken.
It's I think it was all just the word triumph. I just saw this and this opportunity. All the ideas I had amalgamated, and I could finalize the project. So that was perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Mark thought the shadows on the stairway wall were cool. So you did get some shadow play there.
Yeah, I think first and second shot had them, but the rest of them I couldn't get them. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. I hope you make another one and try some more of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And the format also helps a lot. So kudos to the meetup, I guess.
Yeah, it does help to have the that deadline pushes you to actually finish it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, Kirk said he likes that it ends with normal lighting, since the lighting changes could be seen to symbolize the addiction.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Good work. And Jeff.
All right, Jeff, and then after Jeff is Jesse.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, scratch my head there.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So do you have anything you want to say about your piece?
This is actually, the original draft was much longer, and my friend Mark, who voiced the other character, sent me that, and I realized that I didn't have time to do it all. So this is the back half, and it'll be the animation character you're familiar with, but this is the first time I've done 3 puppets in one animation, so we're getting better at it. So it was an interesting piece to write, and go ahead and run it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Seems like a level up every time you do one of these.
I hope so.
Right.
So an interesting item landed in the inbox earlier, a press release from Old Scratch. Here's part of our conversation. You have been busy. Tell me about the Joes.
Oh, to stage an effective whispering campaign, one needs many whispers. And for this initiative, those doing the whispering well, the more delusional,
the better.
Perceptive. The Joes are the top creative team of the outlandish nonsense cadre's paranoid conspiracy wing. You will not find more ruthless souls than Joseph McCarthy or Joseph Stalin. Observing the Joes crafting fragments of nonsense into a conspiratorial opus, layering familiar hooks for the audience to swallow, weaving innovative twists to seduce those desperate for vindication, proved profoundly satisfying.
The press release goes on to say that the voting machine scenario originated in a contest that was, and I'm quoting here, designed to harness the power of drinking from the fire hose to conquer the strategic staircase.
Sheer poetry in the original Norse, I assure you. It does lose something in translation.
Yeah, I would hope so. And a rip snorter of a reward was bestowed upon the triumphant supplicant.
A quiet moment under the stars of a midsummer's night.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the animation. I think you are definitely leveling up.
Yeah, I've had some time to really focus on that technical part of it. There's somebody who Adobe, because I'm a shameless fanboy, and actually contacted them, put me in touch with here in town, who's given me some suggestions along the way. And
oh, cool.
So what I'm beginning to do is go back through, fortunately, there's only a few panels, but I'm recreating all the puppets and eliminating all the mistakes I made along the way in this version. And so I can now make new and better mistakes.
New and improved mistakes.
So
That's
you're
what learning is, right?
Yeah, so you're using After Effects mainly.
I still haven't got into doing, the one effect I did was an After Effects template that Adobe gave me, because I pay their fee every month. So I'm beginning to use After Effects pieces, but I still have not been that sophisticated of After Effects myself that there's nothing I can't do just as well in Premiere and save the time.
Oh, really?
Well, you know, given my background in editing and commercial TV and the news, I don't have call to do that. So what I do is I find the way that works and I do it the best. I've decided to take the time that I could learn After Effects and learn the animation program instead. So that's the choice I made as far as that goes. So After Effects, if somebody else can make it and I can use it legitimately, I'm going to go with that route every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was fun to write. It was fun to create with Mark, the voice talent. So it was,
yeah.
And it was, yeah.
Cool.
So you got Mark Christensen says, very cool, very deep, and he loved the martini effect.
Yeah. I'm going to get better at making it slosh and stuff. That's the next step as far as when I get back to that character. That's what one of the things I want to do is be able to make the liquid move naturally rather than just be static. So, but that'll be a while.
Yeah, and Jesse said it was hugely powerful commentary.
I really think, thank you, because one of the things for me is that just because he's not in the White House anymore, even if he's out of the picture, the seeds that he came from are still there. And the first part of the piece that we cut, Old Scratch says, "Empires come, empires go." That doesn't interest me. It's the individual making the choice to do what they know isn't right. And that's that character's motivation. And that was something I first just now put together as I wrote it for that character, is that's the motivation. So that I got a little bit better at writing too.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom says best one yet. Keep
Thank
getting
you.
better and better.
Yes, thank you.
And Charlie asked if you use the puppet animation from Adobe.
Yeah, the program's called Character Animator, and the puppets come from drawings that my late brother made that I've broken down in Photoshop to fit what Character Animator wants to see. So.
Cool.
Huh.
Character Animator.
Yeah,
Cool.
pretty powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you're gonna do you still have some of your other stuff that you're working on too? That's just the single. What's the name of your character?
Nosebomb.
Yeah, Nosebomb.
And Old Scratch is the other character.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so depends on what the word is and how long it takes me to think of something.
What the word is, yeah.
But that's also yeah. Well, I need to get better at thinking something 3 weeks out rather than a week and a half out. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Sweet. It's Jesse.
All right, Jesse. Seen you in the comments, but I don't see you in the backstage area over here.
So you're gonna jump in?
Just double checking I actually sent it to him. I did.
Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't jump in, should we play it? Oh, here he's coming.
Coming.
All right, Jesse, I'm adding you in. Hello.
Hey guys.
Jesse's recliner.
Recliner. More time than I am tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I realized I've got a lot of material over the past 5 years, and so I just did kind of more of a, I don't know, it's not quite a montage. It's just bits and pieces from the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm but I'm interested in like things like the duality of human beings and the extremes of love and hate and pathology and all that kind of stuff. And so this is the conflict that happens within each person or can. So yeah, let's roll it.
Cool.
A man pissed me off today, so I shot his ass. And while I watched him gasp for his last miserable breaths, I got to thinking about my life and who I am and the rats and the roses that play in my mind. And it makes me wonder, who will win out? The rats or the roses? Who will triumph? Do you remember these things that came out of me? These beautiful things? Fly, speaking, ever wanting on your trip in eternity. Or how about this? And Sarah calls me, and it makes me happy. And we talk of old times. Oh, girl, what you thinking? Or how about this? We came back to this place, but not too often. Just enough to remind us to touch, like when we were young. These horrible things. Who will win? Who will win? Who am I? You see, our love is a blank check, written and signed, the full amount, to be determined. Shall we begin? Who am I?
Wow, that was powerful.
Thanks. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it gives a sense of your work, you know, kind of like a, in a summary way of that dissonance and duality that you've shared over the course of your films. You know, some of them being very sweet, and obviously some of them being very disruptive, or you know, having that violent tone to them. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah. Well, I think it's an interesting commentary on your work and what you've done, and yeah, that like question that you pose a few times, who am I? You know, kind of exploring that idea and that dissonance. You know, everyone has the love and the hate and that duality in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see some of like shots from your older pieces again too. Like, yeah, to recognize those moments from all the other films you've made.
Yeah. 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 And I guess all of us can look back over time too and see, you know, some of the different things that we tried. You know, you see your growth, your development as a filmmaker, as an artist. You know, think about the different things that I tried. You know, fake my way along well enough to play the guitar, made it sound like, you know, I could do it. You know, that I was actually doing that.
Yeah.
So no, yeah. I mean, we all, and you know, you see everybody's evolution, everybody's growth. Films just continuing to grow over time. So it is. You know, I like to look back on my stuff sometimes too, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you got some comments.
Yeah.
Charlie says Jesse will always be Jesse great. And Kirk says it's powerful. Elliot, he liked the contrasting edits. And Warner says it's classic Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's so classic as taking all your classic pieces and putting them in one.
Tom says, "Wow, such a powerful job of putting your work together." So, yeah, it is a cool like summary piece that kind of it's like gets inside your head a little bit, you know, in terms of the basis and driving force between when you look at the body of work, you know, all together. Yeah, it's the duality, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt, he was going to die tonight, though. We shot that last year, so.
Yeah. Kirk, so he comments, I like how the pleasant clips start out very somber, lots of blues and or desaturation, but then get progressively brighter, making for a greater contrast. And then Tom says, and I love that I remember most of these short shots, how they made an effect at the time.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I mean, I don't want to say capstone because that sounds like the ending of something, but it was an interesting,
compilation.
Compilation.
Yeah.
Of all those films. Yeah.
And Charlie says, I go everywhere, but you find your style. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Thanks.
Awesome, Jesse.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
And I just, you know, like your work has been honestly, some of your pieces have been quite challenging, you know, and this one is still challenging, right? It's like, who am I? You know, the a lot of pieces that are, you know, the mentally challenging, you know, like who the character is and the struggles that they go through, and yeah, remembering.
Yeah.
So here's Jeff's comment. It's interesting how the pieces you've done over time flow together, not the same character, rather the same story told by different characters at different times. It's a cool observation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff Blakely said that.
Yeah.
Thanks. There's more coming.
More coming.
Still working.
More to come.
More to come.
Great. Well, thanks, Jesse.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, we just have
Right.
one more film.
One more film.
Fingers
You want to know
crossed.
what that means? It's the Franken film.
The Franken film. Speaking of compilation work.
Speaking of compilation work,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess if anyone's here who doesn't know what a Franken film is, for the past since lockdown, basically, so almost a year now, we've been making a Franken film every month. So I've been writing the script, and I send out a sign-up sheet so people who want to participate that month can sign up. And then I write up the script and divide it amongst all the people who have signed up for the month. And then they have, I think, 2 weeks to film their section and then send it back to me, and I edit them all together into the final film. So I'm the only one who knows what the whole film is, and everyone just kind of puts their interpretation of what I sent out. And it's been fun to watch everything and what everyone has done with their 2-sentence phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shall we watch
No,
this one?
Yeah, we should watch it. See how it all pieces together.
And hope it works out. This was another one of those things we had technical problems on.
I know. Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Today, we triumph. We will overcome many obstacles, but today we are facing the end of the road, and we will not be overtaken.
We have all made many personal sacrifices to get to this point. John, you haven't seen your kids in 3 years.
Sandy, you lost an eye. Dave, you may never walk again. I myself haven't had a warm bath in over a month.
But these sacrifices will have all been worth it when we emerge victorious. By next week, we'll be marching down the streets, people cheering as we pass.
The love and adoration from the crowds will rain down on us, and we'll be sung about as heroes forevermore.
Your grandchildren will sit at your feet listening to tales of our deeds. This moment will be taught in history books.
As you go out there today, remember this. You are the best there ever was. I have never worked with such fine people as yourselves.
Proud to stand before you. Your leader through and through. Now go out there and triumph.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, sweet.
That was uplifting and inspiring.
Yeah. So Jeff needs to get a bath. He hasn't had a bath in weeks. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was fun.
I liked, okay, so the claymation with the burning dude that falls into the fire.
Yeah.
That's funny. Is that Kirk's work?
Yeah, that was Kirk's.
Yeah. I can always tell Kirk because he is like does something completely different. That's good. Yeah, I like the green screens that people had, and different like masks and settings, and
yeah.
So I found it was like I did it with the mask so I could do a voiceover because the like it was super windy and there's like engine noise outside, and so I just filmed myself. I wasn't talking. I was just
just gesturing.
Yeah, and then I did a voiceover later. I did it all on my phone. That's the first time I ever like did a little edit. Well, no, I've done that before, but
Oh, you did the edits on your phone too?
Yeah, I did everything on my phone. Yeah. So. So.
Yeah, Elliot said he liked how the skiers were looking at you oddly.
I know, they're like, what's wrong with this guy? He's like
it's not a normal kind of selfie people take.
Yeah. Yeah, the claymation, that was great, Kirk.
Yeah, there was a little part of Gumby.
The Wicker Man, yeah.
Getting burned that
Burned.
didn't quite fit in the flow of the whole speech. So I hope you'll forgive me for
didn't make the cut.
For taking that part out. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, if anyone wants to participate in the next one, keep an eye out for the sign up. I'll post it on Facebook and in Meetup. So check back on the Meetup page or the Facebook page for that sign up sheet.
Cool. Fun stuff. So let's see. For the rest of the evening, are we gonna like show all the films again for people who want to just
Yeah, let's
Right.
reveal the word for next
Reveal the
month,
word.
and then if anyone wants to stick around and watch everything again, we can just play through them.
So we're gonna see if this works because I'm trying something completely different
And now for something completely different.
for the word selection. So I just put this together like in the last few minutes, but and, yeah, Sarah sent me some words, and I wrote them on some paper and stuck them on my turntable, and gonna spin the record, and wherever the needle ends is which word it ends up on top of is what we're gonna go with. So see if it works. All right, here we go.
All right, fingers crossed.
All right, see that? Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. And I turn it off and swing.
Swing.
Swing. Dance, little sister. Swing. Yeah. All right. What do you think? Did that work?
Yeah, that worked.
Fun little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Swing. We're gonna swing. Swing for the bleachers.
Swing.
So what's your favorite swing kind of like? What comes to mind when you hear the word swing?
Think of swing dancing.
That's what I thought you were gonna say. Because
And
you're a swing dancer, aren't you?
and swings on a swing set.
Swing those. When's the last time you went swing dancing, Sarah?
College.
Your wedding?
It
College.
wasn't swing dancing, it was just dancing.
Just dancing.
Dancing.
A
A game show.
Game show. Really?
That's what Jeff says.
Yeah, I saw that. Huh. Okay. I was thinking, yeah, like I said, swing for the bleachers. Like Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Swingers.
Swingers.
Moving on.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see what films I get this month.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Well, should we-
So sweet. All right. So
You put the playlist on to just
I get
play
the-
through?
I could, but I have to dig into the menu structure of VLC and figure out how to turn off the stop. I don't remember where that is. So
I guess you could just press play.
I'll just press play. Sing, sing, sing. Swing. Oh, no, it's swing, not sing.
Swing.
Swing, as in, swing. Cool.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Warner. So,
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
yeah, thanks, everyone. And I
Hope you
guess
stick
we'll-
around to watch them again, but if not, see you next time. Next week for our hangout, and then
next week. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
next
good
month
to
for swing. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Should I switch over to your screen?
Let's see. Yes, you can do that, and then we'll just play them all the way through, and you guys have a great. Yeah, Tom, you got a good one. You're just swinging on the wall now. You just in the documentary. Cool. All right. Good deal.
Right.
Triumph for another Minute Movies wrap. And I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here. I'm gonna eat my fish food.
Ooh.
And watch the
Got some
film.
dessert?
I'll just push play.
All right.
I used to be a rock climber. Back in my 30s, I used to climb every chance I could. Up in South Dakota, Devil's Tower, Donner Summit in California. My favorite place was the Needles in South Dakota. And during the winter, I ice climbed out in Rocky Mountain National Park, up on the north shore of Lake Superior. And when I moved to Alaska, down in Valdez and around Denali National Park. I loved my trips to Telluride and Ouray and the San Juans of southwest Colorado. When the pandemic hit, I refurbished my climbing kit and I took my barn wall, which was blank, made it ready for holds, mounted those holds until I had a climbing wall. So at 73 years old, I started climbing back. My climbing may be checkered by failure, or I may win glorious triumphs. But I know I will not live in a gray twilight.
Growing up, both as a surfer but also as like an entrepreneur, it worked with like device and like IoT startups. But we realized with surfing that there wasn't anything in place. Like if you had to go to the toilet and you were at like near a beach or you couldn't get to a restaurant.
We heard about Stu's health startups here, but we didn't want to miss out, so we inked a Series A round.
My dad was a builder, so I was always making things. I did a couple device kind of wearable tech type things, but nothing really picked up.
On demand's the rage, and why not for your toilet needs?
Just one drop of this. See if that works for you, and then we'll wait a couple minutes.
Trying up today, because when you're running around on the beach, your poops shouldn't have to wait another day.
Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Wake up to what's possible.
Welcome, boxing fans! The main event, all bouts sanctioned by USA Boxing. And your announcer for tonight's bouts, the well-known godfather of announcers in the Pacific Northwest, Joe Toro.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the hundreds in attendance and the thousands outside that can't get in, it's showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, for our main event of the evening, fighting out of the heavyweight division from Milton, Washington, fighting out of the blue corner, let's hear it for the up-and-coming Morning Thunder. And his opponent out of the red corner, from Seattle, Washington, the great, the electrifying Atomic Bull. This will be 10 rounds or less.
Wow. What a match. What a fight. Yeah. But I don't know why the coach called me Morning Thunder. And the fight is at night. But I did a good fight. I stopped every punch with my face, and I put it there, put it there, put it there. The coach, he told me, "Don't worry, he doesn't touch you, he doesn't touch you." Well, I told him, "You better look the referee then." But, my main problem for many years, I have a hard time to sleep at night. But when that guy counts to 10, I fell asleep like a baby. And that was a triumph. Yeah.
Each night, I lay awake in my bed. That has been the norm since that day. It gets easier with time, they said, but the pain doesn't seem to go away. Sometimes I ponder I would be happier dead, done with the suffering rather than have to pay. I walk the dead man's walk on a thin thread. To no particular God I pray. Let me wash away these sins, I said, and in the mirror I gaze. The water hides the tears I shed as I find my way out of this maze. And to the same spot I am led, beside the cigarette, a note I read. Don't let this weakness, uncertainty, and chaos humph, because this last cigarette, untouched, unsmoked, in itself is a triumph.
So an interesting item landed in the inbox earlier, a press release from Old Scratch. Here's part of our conversation. You have been busy. Tell me about the Joes.
Oh, to stage an effective whispering campaign, one needs many whispers. And for this initiative, those doing the whispering well, the more delusional,
the better.
Perceptive. The Joes are the top creative team of the outlandish nonsense cadre's paranoid conspiracy wing. You will not find more ruthless souls than Joseph McCarthy or Joseph Stalin. Observing the Joes crafting fragments of nonsense into a conspiratorial opus, layering familiar hooks for the audience to swallow, weaving innovative twists to seduce those desperate for vindication, proved profoundly satisfying.
The press release goes on to say that the voting machine scenario originated in a contest that was, and I'm quoting here, designed to harness the power of drinking from the fire hose to conquer the strategic staircase.
Sheer poetry in the original Norse, I assure you. It does lose something in translation.
I would hope so. And a rip snorter of a reward was bestowed upon the triumphant supplicant.
A quiet moment under the stars of a midsummer's night.
A man pissed me off today, so I shot his ass. I And while I watched him gasp for his last miserable breaths, I got to thinking about my life and who I am and the rats and the roses that play in my mind. And it makes me wonder, who will win out? The rats or the roses? Who will triumph? Do you remember these things that came out of me? These beautiful things? Fly, speaking, ever wanting on your trip in eternity. Or how about this? And Sarah calls me, and it makes me happy. And we talk of old times. Oh, girl, what you thinking? Or how about this? We came back to this place, but not too often. Just enough to remind us to touch, like when we were young. These horrible things. Who will win? Who will win? Who am I? You see, our love is a blank check, written and signed, the full amount, to be determined. Shall we begin? Who am I?
Today, we triumph. We will overcome many obstacles, but today we are facing the end of the road, and we will not be overtaken.
We have all made many personal sacrifices to get to this point. John, you haven't seen your kids in 3 years.
Sandy, you lost an eye. Dave, you may never walk again. I myself haven't had a warm bath in over a month.
But these sacrifices will have all been worth it when we emerge victorious. By next week, we'll be marching down the streets, people cheering as we pass.
The love and adoration from the crowds will rain down on us, and we'll be sung about as heroes forevermore.
Your grandchildren will sit at your feet listening to tales of our deeds. This moment will be taught in history books.
As you go out there today, remember this. You are the best there ever was. I have never worked with such fine people as yourselves.
Proud to stand before you. Your leader through and through. Now go out there and triumph!
Hello.
Hello.
We're still here.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who came and
Thank you for all
everyone
the
who stayed.
all the contributors. It was really fine work this month again.
Yeah,
Always impressive.
great films.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next month for Swing.
Swing after the triumph of this month.
For the triumph of this month. Let's hope it's not a swing and a miss.
Ah.
On that note, good night.
Good night.